What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Just the Ramblings podcast. My name is Stefan, and I am your host slash creator slash announcer guy. Whatever. I'm the guy who talks on the podcast. We don't have any guests yet, so it's just me. So welcome back, guys. I still don't have a proper intro. I listened to episode 1 again, and the intro is super formal. And if you know me, I do love a good suit and tie or a tux every once in a while, but sweatpants and jeans are a lot more comfortable. So yeah, that's my intro for episode 2. But yeah, welcome back. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. I'm recording this on a Wednesday now, so middle of the week. It's actually Wednesday. Cool fact: Wednesday is my favorite day of the week, just because it's the only day of the week that starts with a W. Like, it's different. Like, yeah, we all love the weekends and party on the weekends, but Wednesday is just different. And then if you're like me, you love that Geico commercial with the camel screaming hump day. So hump day. Yeah, I don't want to scream that into the mic. So, but yeah, let's kick it. Let's get into episode 2. One thing I just wanted to add off the bat. I was listening to the beginning. I don't usually listen to their episodes, but Everyday Struggle over on Complex. Post Malone was in there, and Post Malone is one of my favorite artists now. But Wayno and the host, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. If you don't know Everyday Struggle, it's a show about like rap and then the culture behind that and everything like that. So Wayno is just like this, but he's that dude that could like quote or could like rap the last song off of Nas's album off of Straight Memory. But yeah, like you would never expect like a guy like him to like Carly Rae Jepsen. But yeah, they started the episode talking about how he loves crazy, corny pop music. And that was just funny coming off of episode 1 and starting to record this. It was just hilarious hearing something like that. But yeah, and I also want to talk about the Easy 700 review. Oh, kind of review, just overview for the Inertias that came out this weekend. So those, I was able to get those. I won a raffle and picked up the sneakers. I haven't worn them yet. Well, hold on. Yeah, just had to wipe my nose, but yeah. I haven't worn them yet. The weather's been kind of crappy over here lately. But yeah, they're really nice. They're like a grayish blue. If you were to get the Calabasas that came out a long time ago, it was like a year ago. It was around like December, but those like gray Calabasas shoes that weren't really, they were like grayish bluish. That's the color that they are. And then the hits of like peach on the back, or on the OGs it was orange, that like 3M color hit. It's really nice. It breaks up the whole shoe, so it's not monochromatic like the Assaults. But yeah, I got those. I am a fan of how they used elastic to tie the tongue down, because the tongue for the original 700s moved around way too much. I did have the mauves, but I sold those. Sold those for retail. I just got my money back because it wasn't my favorite colorway. Which I may regret in the future because prices are going up. But yeah, they had those on they had the elastic bands on the mauves, but they kept it for the consecutive releases, which I really like and appreciate. I wish they went back and did that for the re-release of the OG Wave Runners, but yeah, that didn't happen. So yeah, just a little nice overview on that. Yeah, that's the only shoe that I have that I haven't worn yet. So they're brand new, and the bottom is like creamy. So maybe like the first day of spring or something, I'll pull them out and wear them. But yeah, getting into episode 2. This episode, I just wanted to talk about like my music. So yeah, I actually make music. I forgot to say that the first episode. Of course, if you couldn't tell already, I was super nervous. But yeah, not just like my music and how I make music and that, even though that's gonna come into play. But just like the music I listen to, and just you can call it my musical journey. I didn't know what else to call it when I was writing my notes, but just like what inspired me, and what kind of molded my music tastes nowadays. Yeah, starting from when I was a wee little child, wee little lad. Yeah, you guys don't know, but for the people that do know me, I am Haitian. So both of my parents are immigrants. My mom came here when she was 13, and my dad came here when he was 22. Yeah, like 21, 22, 23, around that area. I'm pretty sure it's 22 though. But yeah, growing up, I listened to classic Haitian music, and my mom was a huge disco fan. So I remember we had like one disco CD that she loved to play on repeat, and it had like all the hits. So all this like 70s disco, like I have them like memorized. But yeah, that was like my first memory of like music and like what like I saw how it like made my parents feel, and then when we go to like family parties and stuff, like people would dance and everything. So that was my big like introduction to music, and yeah, that was when like I was like baby to like a kid, and then when I finally found the radio, like I had a clock in my room. I still remember it. It was like this off-white, just cube with a clock, AM, FM, and then like couldn't even like save stations on that. You just had the volume and then the tuner. So that's when I was like getting into my preteens and stuff like that. I really like found the radio, and I remember the station that I got hooked on was Z100. So I have an older sister, and I'm a '90s kid, so boy bands were huge. Oops, accidentally hit my keyboard. But yeah, boy bands were huge, like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. I was a big Backstreet Boys fan, so say what you want about that. But yeah, like Z100 was the station I really gravitated towards, and it was just very interesting. Like they were playing all the pop songs. Like you had not just the boy bands, but like you had Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, 98 Degrees, and they just all the like corny like we know those like 90s songs. I should have made a list for all the ones, but yeah, I wanted to get this episode out before I study for one of my finals. Yeah, I'm an MBA student, like I said, episode 1. Go back and listen if you didn't. Shameless plug. But yeah, so yeah, that era I really just listened to like pop music and then like the top 40, which I didn't even know was called the top 40 back then. But yeah, and then after that, when I remember middle school, my friend Ben introduced me to a bunch of music, and he's you can say he's a metalhead, but yeah, like listening to System of a Down. I remember BYOB, which now I know what that means, of course. But well, who else? A little bit of AC/DC, a little bit of Led Zeppelin, but just like the like beginning. Well, that was my beginning to like metal, and then that's when like Fall Out Boy started getting big, and My Chemical Romance. I found them. Shout out Helena. I love that song. And then yeah, Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy is my most favorite, or Fall Out Boy is my favorite, like punk band. And I missed their first album. It's when Dance Dance came out. That's when I really like found them. But yeah, that's when I listened to like rock, metal, punk, and kind of explored that aspect in that era. And then after that is when I found the love of my life, EDM music. So EDM music, if you know me, not like I listen to a ton of it, but I found it later on. Like Daft Punk, favorite band of all time. Like I love Daft Punk. There's nobody that compares to Daft Punk to me. Like they are the mecca. They're like the omega, like top of the top. Nobody in EDM can like surpass them. If you want to know, Deadmau5 is second because I love progressive house. But yeah, like after the whole metal punk era, I really found Daft Punk. I was actually on vacation and my sister, like I really love anime too, so they had a lot of random like rock and punk songs, and I think OSTs, that's what it's called. Don't roast me in the comments or yell at me later, but pretty sure it's the OSTs when you just take clips of the anime and you put it to music. So yeah, I was watching all those all the time, and that also played into that. But I was on vacation, and then my sister was watching this anime, and I've never heard of it before. I haven't seen it before, so I asked her what it was, And then she showed me, oh, it's Interstellar 5555. And if you're a Daft Punk fan, you know what that is. So at this point, I heard One More Time before. It was like a New Year song that Z100 played. And they would have like clips of like the just highlight reels of the year. Like the Mets won the World Series, I think, once in that era. But like, yeah, they would just put clips and stuff of that, or like funny moments. So like I heard that song. I didn't know it was Daft Punk at the time. But yeah, Interstellar 5555. There's 4 fives if you didn't know. So it's weird to say. But yeah, I started watching that, and there's no talking in the entire thing. Like, it's a movie. But I believe it was on YouTube, like, in the beginning days. Especially when they didn't really have, like, copyright laws, and then people were just uploading anything they could. So I was watching it in parts. And, like, I loved the music. Like, the music was, like, an evolution of what I listened to as a kid. Like, especially with my mom, with, like, disco. And with that, like, I just had to know who these people are. Like, who is this artist? Like, where did this music come from? And that also plays into, like, my need of knowledge and, like, completionists. Like, I need to, like, if I like one artist, I need their whole discography to listen to it from start to end. And then I can have a whole opinion on, like, their music and their life and everything like that. But yeah, that's when I, like, found Daft Punk. So it changed my life completely. So, like, I always knew disco music, and then, like, I was famous with all of those artists. And then, like, even, like, nowadays people are still sampling from them, but, like, beginning house music, and I learned this, like, researching into, like, house music, EDM, and stuff like that. But it came from sampling disco, and even Daft Punk, especially in the album Discovery, which Discovery, the video for that is Interstellar 5555. So they didn't have, like, music videos for it. Like, the movie was their hour-long music video. But yeah, like, they sampled old disco tracks, and they would, like, mold disco tracks into house music. And this blew my mind. It came out in, like, 2001. I don't remember when Interstellar came out, but it was around, like, 2001, 2002, so I was, like, 9, 10 at the time. Yeah, oh, wow, I found it. Yeah, so I don't exactly remember how old I was when I found Interstellar, but it was, like, early, like, pre-teens, like, early teens. Yeah, like, molds in with the metal punk era a little bit, but not really. Like, I found Daft Punk, it changed my life, and I had to know more. So, yeah, that's when I found Daft Punk. And Discovery, which Interstellar is based off of, which I think I said already, but I might cut out because, editing. And then realizing now, it's 15 minutes. Hit the 15-minute mark. I had one more part to this, but I don't want to, like, bore you guys. But, yeah, I don't want to keep, like, each podcast longer than, like, 15, 16 minutes. I don't want to do, like, a whole hour-long one, maybe in the future. But now just keeping it nice, short and sweet little snippets. If you want to listen to my voice for an hour, hey, when I do 4 of them, you can play each back to back to back to back. And then have an hour-long podcast just listening to my voice. And about different topics. Because it's kind of annoying hearing one person talk about the same thing for an entire hour. Unless it's like a documentary about something very interesting, but me just talking about my musical taste journey for an hour, I don't know how you'd feel about that. So I'm only going to do 2 episodes on this. So this is the beginning of my musical journey, and it brought me up to EDM and house music, which is my number 1 love now, and has been for a while. But yeah, in the part 2, I'm going to talk about, like, expanding on the EDM genre and what I learned, because EDM, a lot of people think EDM is just, like, all the music, but it's like, picture like rock music. There's not just rock music. There's punk, metal, hardcore, post-hardcore, new wave. There's, like, mathcore, which, like, I just learned was a thing. But yeah, there's a million different subgenres in that one genre. Just like there isn't just like one pop music. There's a couple different subgenres of pop music. So yeah, next time I'm going to talk about that for EDM music, and then if we have time, hit up on how I started making music. So yeah, thanks for listening to Just a Ramblings podcast. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.